Surprise! I know you weren't expecting me, but Mr. Thomas will be joining us shortly. But good morning, beautiful people of the world. There are so many beautiful faces on here, and I'm so excited for today's call. I could not sleep last night. My husband will tell you, I was like an owl. And this morning I woke up and I was just so excited because I know that this individual that's on today's call will be delivering such a strong and powerful message. Send out your last minute reminders because you do not want anyone to miss this. So let me go ahead and introduce our guest speaker for today. Before ACN, her and her husband had a luxury home construction company. She is a faith-based entrepreneur, wife, mother, and grandmother, even though she doesn't look like it. She is the Dawn King, or should I say queen, of promoting, and her business spans across so many different countries. It's amazing. She is my personal role model, and I'm so thankful for her to be in our lives, and I cannot wait to be half the woman that she is one day. So please help me welcome Regional Vice President out of Monterey, California, Mrs. Jocelyn Driskill. The call is yours.
Yay. Good morning. How are you, Miss Natasha, Ismail? How are you?
Doing amazing. Thank you so much now that you're here.
Awesome, awesome. Well, what a great surprise to have you bring me on. I am absolutely grateful. What a blessing. So welcome, everyone. Oh, there's Mr. Thomas. I see you. You had
Good morning.
The wonderful Miss Natasha open up, and she just started the pace for us. I love it. Her energy is infectious.
I knew that was one of the things that she would love to do, so I thought we'd just let her do it.
It's perfect.
Good seeing you this morning. We're all ready to hear what God's blessed you with, some new ideas. I know Mr. Bree Clement was trying to pick your brain earlier to find out what was going on today. So we're so excited about having you there. And everybody, before she gets started, she'll be with us every Monday. Every Monday in the month of August. So we're just excited about what's on our heart and what she's going to bless us with. So let's prepare our hearts and get our notepads out and journals and get ready to take notes. So dear, it's good seeing you. Thank you so much. Let's give her one more hand for being here this morning. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I have the same prayer, and I want to bring the message to each and every one of you. This message is going to come from different directions. I actually have some slides to go with this. So I'll be sharing my screen. I just am grateful truly to have 5 weeks, 5 Mondays with you in August. Mr. Thomas truly has been an amazing mentor for Tony and I from day one in this business. Regardless of the money that he doesn't make on 1 ounce of our work, he has truly always been there to be a mentor, a guide, someone that would just give his ear and his message to if you ask. So I am grateful for your mentorship, your leadership, and honored to be on your calls at any time. So I don't take it lightly. I have prepared, and now I hope it comes across. So let's talk about this. I am actually going to share my story a little bit as we go through this, because this message is all about taking the lid off. This is all about the message of taking the lid off of you. Now, when I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to myself, and a message that I've had to tell myself over and over and over again. So let's just dive right into it. I'm going to share my screen. Mr. Jabari, you have been so helpful here. I am so grateful for you and your leadership and what you do for this group and beyond. So thank you. So I'm not super techie, but here we go. If I can do it, you can do it. And that's my story. Can you see my screen okay, everyone? Are we good? My screen good?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So this is, and you can see me fine. I can hear me fine. I just want to make sure. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So this is our ACN story. And I always believe if I can, if someone else could, you can. Because it tells you that nobody is we're born special and with gifts. But when you come into a business like we did, back in 2008, because I'm going to tie 2020 into what 2008 was for us, because it is parallel. Say that again. 2008 and 2020 are parallel. And there is no coincidences that I'm having this conversation with you, because there's one person here on this line that is going to be impacted by my message and do something with it. So just know we have not come from a special place except born into greatness and with gifts. And ACN gives us the platform to do something great with it. So if I can, you can. Again, taking the lid off, and I'm gonna share with you, it starts with the little. So if you feel little, which you shouldn't, but if you feel like you're coming to the table with not much, whether it's skills or no previous network marketing experience, that was us. We had lost everything in our life, in our business. I'm going to come off share screen for just a second. I want to talk to you for just a second. Am I on share screen or off?
On share screen still.
Okay, so stop share screen. Okay, here I am. So perfect. Let me take that off. All right, so let me just tell you, back in 2008, for those of you who don't know my story, we basically lost everything. In the crash of the economy, that was not a shutdown world, it was a crash of the economics that was happening in this world. And we had no idea what we were gonna do, because all our life, so if this is you, all your life you have done one thing in your life where you have really focused on a career or a business, and you've been all in with that. And then you lose everything, like literally everything, all the investments after 20 plus years, that's where we were, all our investments for retirement, moving into our 50s. It's a scary place. It's a scary place right now. And I want you guys to hear what I have to say, because ACN is the hope and opportunity that everybody will be looking for if they're not looking for it yet. And they're looking for you. See, I didn't know I was looking for ACN. I didn't know I was looking for the mentors that jumped in my life. I have the chills too, Natasha. So I know this is the right message. So what you don't know, you don't know. And I had no idea that the person that shared this information with me would be the absolute impact. Because if you don't know and haven't heard of ACN, again, you don't know what you don't know. So is it fair to say that she could have prejudged Tony and I? So if you know our life before, we had a big, beautiful house on 2.5 acres that we designed and built. And I'm not going to say any of this to impress you. This is only to impress upon you who you need to be on, who needs to be on your list right now in 2020. Tony and I lived in a home that was 5,500 square feet, 3,000 garage. That's 8,500 square feet of home on 2.5 acres that was custom built and designed for us and our family. Beautiful, amazing dream home. Okay, it is. We worked hard to get there, and we had everything on the line. Not only did we have our home, we had 3 more just like it on the market in the same development. And the economy went bam. Unbeknownst to us, we had to start over. There are people out there right now that are going to be starting over. See, what I do know, and you've heard me say this before, is God doesn't put you on this earth for one thing in life. I don't believe. I believe you have multiple gifts, and I believe there's seasons in your life and a time for everything. And when I saw this information in a living room with contractors, with, oh gosh, every subcontractor you can think of, real estate agents, 30 plus Keller Williams agents in that living room that day. I sat in front of this information, and from the moment the person who shared this. It's the person who shared my person's information with. She got in front of the room. She was a real estate agent. She didn't speak eloquently. She just was excited. So that's a message for someone. It's not about being eloquent. It's about being excited. And I could see and hear her heart of the place that she was in her life. And before the presenter got up, I was in. So also understand that piece. That is not just about you being eloquent, about you just perfecting your skill. Just be excited because you're going to inspire someone else who's looking for an answer. All right. So when I look back in that living room and I saw all this happening around me, I didn't care about what was happening around me. I just knew this was the answer to our prayer. And when a prayer is answered and you didn't know that it was going to look like that, see, a gift can be presented to many people. And they look at the gift and they open it up and they go, they hem-ha, what am I going to do with this? You know, they don't maybe say it out loud, but they look at it and go, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. See, I didn't know how to run an ACN business. I didn't know how to do network marketing, nor did my husband. We were not speakers. We were not professional speakers. In fact, both of our greatest fears was to speak in front of a room of people. So stop prejudging individuals based on any of these things I'm talking about. Just put them on your list and be the blessing, because we have been blessed. And it's all about, when I stepped into the ACN, I had someone, and this is going to impact, or it's going to relate to Natasha's conversation about belief. Someone had to believe in me before I could believe in myself to do this business. So some of you need to be the belief for someone else. They need to know that they can do it. You got to keep it simple so that they can do it. You got to believe in them and push them in front of the room, on a Zoom. Get them, you know, just like when I run weekly Zooms, I have ETLs and RDs, just like Mr. Thomas does, developing the next leaders and believing in them that they can do it. Because if you don't believe in them, why would they believe in themselves? This is new. So taking the lid not only off of your own self, but taking the lid off of your people so that they can grow and develop. So I'm going to go back to these slides and continue to talk here. So taking the lid off, and it all begins with the little. So when we scaled down, we had a mentor of ours tell us that you got to go small to get big. Write that down. You have to be small to get big. So what did we have to do? We sold everything. Our house was a short sale, and everything we had in cash, cash is king. Everything we paid for in cash, we had to get small. We had to sell it all. We didn't know where we were going to live. We seriously did not know where we were going to live through that process. And ACN dropped into our lap. We started to go to work, and I'm going to get to some of those slides and seeing what that looks like. But you have to go small. I hate seeing people come in who are working a job and feel like they need to impress people. Like they need to have this car and they need to have, you know, they don't have the money to have all of these things, but they do it because they think they need to. No, work your way into it. Work your way into it as it's meant to be, you guys. I also want to preface this as I go through this. I'm going to be unapologetically me, because God has been my foundation and why I'm here in front of all of you today, having the blessing to share this story with you. Because this story is not an easy story, and it chokes me up just to even talk about it. Sorry, but it's real. And I want to impact one of you to understand you can do this if I can't. So take the lid off of the little, of thinking little, thinking small. You do have to scale down to be little, but you are not little. You are big, and you can grow into abundance with this opportunity. You are his secret weapon. If you've been placed in ACN, you're his secret weapon. Hold on one second. So, timing in business. When we saw ACN in 2008, It reminds me of 2020. Except I go back to this world has been shut down, and our world was not shut down in 2008. So God forbid what it's going to look like for many people in 2021 and 22 and 23, because the fallout of 2008 didn't just stop in 08. So when it happened to us in 08, I'm going to let these numbers and these time frames sit with you. Write them down. 2008, we lost everything. We were struggling, we were fighting, we were praying, we were doing everything that we could and keeping our marriage together, because a lot of people's marriage they're losing that kind of money is not, we just got stronger. The number one reason is because God was in the center of it. And we believed on the other side of our pain. And there's people out there in pain right now, but the pain is going to get stronger. And when the pain gets stronger, you have hope for them. ACN was our lifeboat. You've heard me say that before. In 2009, January of 2009, we were blessed to see ACN. So in 2021, you're going to have, and Michael Crowder, if you know Senior Vice President Michael Crowder, he saw ACN in January of 2009, and he still wasn't hurting enough yet. He did not get started till December of 2009. I'm grateful we saw it. He actually saw ACN. He didn't get started. He wasn't hurting enough. How many people have you presented to that haven't gotten started yet? They're just not hurting enough yet. It will happen. So never take them off your list. Moving into 2009, I'm going to show you what can happen for you, what can happen for your people who come in your business from this point on, because the people that are building their business right now in 2020 is the same people who were building their business in 2008 and got someone like Jocelyn and Tony Driskill in their business in 2009. They were staying consistent. See, one of the reasons why people don't stay consistent is their fear. Reason why people, here's a good quote, the immature, so this is all about maturing, the immature have to stay in crisis to be committed. Let me say that again and let that sit with you. The immature have to stay in crisis to stay committed. Okay, so let that sit there for a minute. So I want you guys to envision yourself being the leaders like Mr. Thomas in 2008 when the economy shifted. They were in position, they were in place, and the timing in business. Now, ACN flourishes in any economy. We know that because it's truly recession-proof in my mind, okay? But in times like this, network marketing goes like this. And we have the best one in the world. And they were in position in 2008. What do you think happened to their business moving through this crisis? What do you think happened to their business? They got people like Jocelyn and Tony Driskill and multiple Michael Crowders. And I could name so many people that came in the business in 08, 2009, 2010. Carrie Roeder and her husband came in the business, regional vice presidents. So those who see and act on what I'm sharing with you right now could see a whole new life in 2021. It is all about capitalizing on timing in business and a shift of an economy. I'm going to continue to explain. So you are one decision away that your future self will say thank you for. So how do you make this ACN system work for you? You have it in front of you. It is trained every single week, every single day of the week on Saturdays on how to really leverage this. See, I go back to our story. Hold on one second. Tony and I, we had no time. Not 1 ounce of time to put to one more thing. Besides the no time, we had a head that was so full of what we were going to do, what we were going to do, how we were going to do it, how we were going to get out of the hole. I'm telling you, it was crazy times. We were a red apple. And we knew that someone was coming alongside of us like Mr. Thomas. And many people like Mr. Thomas would come alongside of us. We didn't know that when we started. So your goal when you're talking to people and you're showcasing this business, always remember to tell, I got your back. I'm alongside you. Don't worry about all the details. People don't have time for details in these crises. They're in fear, right? Tony and I obviously came to the table in faith. I can tell you, Michael Crowder came into the business with faith. Okay? So we're out there. You're out there waiting for you to talk to them. So we didn't have time, but someone said, I'll be your time until I can help you get your time back. If you just leverage me and the system will work for you. Okay, so that's where I'm at here, is showing you that you can make this work using the ACN's perfect system perfectly. See, people jump in and then they jump out. They jump in and then they jump out. They'll do a little bit of this and they'll do a little bit of that and they'll take a week and I'll see how it works and you're toe dipping. I need you guys on this other end of the phone to align to stop toe dipping. Put yourself in, even if it's part-time nooks and crannies. Be accountable. Do the simple things in ACN that get you the results. See, I had this conversation with Miss Heather Perry yesterday about doing the actions in a launch that get the results. Stop wasting time giving details and talking about, and I'm not saying she did that. I was just coaching her. She didn't. She did an amazing job because that's what I took her through. See, what you do, they do. So use the system appropriately. At the end, I'm going to do a call to action, and I'm going to hope and pray that all of you jump in and stop toe dipping into this call of action and work your system, the ACN system perfectly, because it is 100% your greatest leverage. How do you do it? You use Zoom. Your advantage here. You guys, we had to drive everywhere, home meetings in our local area. And some of you live in big cities and just getting across the traffic is crazy. I know even just being in the Central Valley, Shaw Avenue is ridiculous at certain times of day. Herndon Avenue is ridiculous. I don't really have that in my area, but guess what? I knew somebody who knew somebody in other states and other countries and other cities that do have that type. Down in Southern California, Central Valley, Northern California. So in order to get people in front of this information, I had to go there. How do you condense your time frames? We hit, I'll just tell you, again, not to impress you, only to impress upon you. In our first 17 days, we hit ETL in a whole different comp plan. It took a lot. It was 3 executive team trainers wide. You had to have 3 direct sponsors that went ETT. And if you don't know that, that was another position that was harder to get to. It's kind of like, it's harder than CQ. So I'm just telling you, the comp plan was harder. And we hit that in 17 days. And in our first 43 days in business, we had 2 numbers before a comma in our bank account. How was that possible? That's because of the leverage that we used. We had our mentor would drive from Northern California to sit in our office, and we just put people in front of her at our conference table. I was at my desk. Tony was on the job site. We just did our work. We put our ears and our mouth to the phone, and we made calls. And when she came to town, that door was revolving. I hope you guys do that when Mr. Thomas is in town. But Mr. Thomas is live on Zoom. Your leaderships are live on Zoom. All you have to do is pick up the call and put them in one place. You can condense your time frame. Miss Heather Peary hit ETL in 24 hours. Do you think that was because she had a condensed time frame and a leader who was not about the details? It was just about the action to get the results. Yes, and I prepared the plan before she even got started. I knew what it was going to look like. So utilize the system and the Zooms. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this real quick. And I'm going to talk about a few things. And I'm going to go off of this. Okay, so let's talk about condensing time frames, building from event to event. You have a massive schedule that you can plug into every single week, just with Mr. Al Thomas alone and your leadership here. A massive schedule that is all about coming to the table with something on top, even if you're not wearing something on the bottom. I don't know. I'm just saying you can show up. See, you gentlemen don't have to do your hair and makeup. But sometimes, I know you always look great, Mr. Thomas. That shiny head, you know, it takes us a little bit longer, ladies. I know it does. But sometimes you can just come, you just need to come to the table. If you went to work out and there's a Zoom and you're going to put a guest on, just come to the table and be there. Don't work this business in the forefront of your brain. Always here, always thinking ACN. Just Mr. Thomas talked about, I do the same thing. I'm out every day talking to people. I'm reconnecting on social media. I'm on the phone talking to people I haven't talked to in a long time, right? And it's not always convenient to get on a Zoom and look beautiful. You just sometimes just have to get on the Zoom and have a conversation, because that conversation, do you feel me? I mean, I know I had some tears earlier. I hope, and I couldn't actually see myself. I had a slide up. I hope you could feel me. See, people have to feel you. They don't care what you know. They need to know that you care. So hop on that Zoom, condense those timeframes. So let's talk about what those timeframes can look like. So when we got started in 2009, we hit the first position in the company in our first, I think it was 3 days in business, which was called Executive Team Trainer. Miss Heather Perry did it in 24 hours. Do you see how you can condense the time frame? ETL in 17 days for us, 24 hours for her and her husband, because she was coachable. I think Natasha knows I say this all the time. Are you coachable? I see heads doing this, and I see something different in the field. Because when one thing doesn't feel comfortable, then it's questioned. The advantage we had is we didn't question one thing that our mentor told us to do. We didn't have time to question. Why do you guys have time to question your mentors? They've done it. They have the success. Why question them? They make the money, right? I don't waste a lot of energy with people who do a lot of questioning what I'm training, because I've had 11 years of experience. I'm not saying I'm perfect and I do it all right, because I don't. I'm always learning. I'm always honing my own skills as well. That's why you see me jump on leaderships with Mr. Thomas as much as I can at 9 a.m. Do you guys not see me even if you don't actually see me? I'm there taking notes. I'm always learning. I'm always a student, even though I'm a teacher. You're both, okay? So honing those skills. We were honing our skills as we were doing the action. So some of you are training, but you're not actually taking the action of what you're being trained to do. It's time to act and train at the same time. Your timing right now of 2020 is crucial. Your consistent action every single day of the week in the nooks and crannies of life, if that's you, is crucial. The numbers of people that you're talking to is crucial. Why? Because someone is going to show up in somebody else's business that you talked to a month ago because you didn't continue to talk to them. You didn't continue to keep them on your list. You didn't continue to drip. Mr. Irving Herrera is a perfect example of the Driskill drip. Yes, I can use that because I do that a lot. He's 2 years I dripped on him. What if I gave up? Somebody else would have gotten him in the business. He loved ACN. He had saw ACN before. I saw something and believed in him before he believed in himself. And today you see him living his life of greatness, and it will only get greater. But if you don't do this and you start erasing people off your list, you're gonna miss the timing in this business for those people. I hope this is making sense to everybody. Okay, so condensing your time frame. So then there's a position called regional director, correct? Miss Natasha Ismail and her husband are incredible ones. I know there's many more, the Kings and so many more, Evelyn Phipps on here. I know Julian Lewis and you guys, it's incredible the types of leaderships you have here. What you have to understand is you are the next RD. Do you have it on your whiteboard? RD, RVP, SVP. See, I had to take an RVP's belief before I became an RVP. I didn't know I could be an RVP. In fact, I didn't know how I made those 2 digits before a comma in 30 days. I didn't understand the comp plan in 30 days. The thing is because we were in action, we were getting the results and we weren't thinking about all the details, and she wasn't giving us all the details. We were just getting trained. So if you're using and condensing your time frames, you're using these events to build from event. How many times have I said this, Natasha? Event to event to event. And that is why she said on the Don King of promoting, you must become the Don King of your business. This is my business. This is not Mr. Thomas's business to be promoting for me. I need to promote for me. It's my life. It's my future. It's your future. Just because you're new in the business or you're a few months in, or even you're an executive team leader and you've been here for a few years, today's your first day to start doing this right and start living the life that you deserve. As Mr. Provenzano says, right now. You must believe that life right now so that you take those steps right now. You must believe that God placed this, and this is again, unapologetically me. You must believe this was placed in your life, in your lap for an answer, for a reason. And you're that reason. You're the one to champion this cause. You're the one to change future generations. Because this is a business of generational wealth. This business can break generational curses. But you must believe. I believe before you believe. And I believe in you to do this. Because if we can, you absolutely can. We're not perfect. We have self-doubt. Trust me, this is a huge responsibility to be on this call right now. I don't take it lightly to give you my best. I prepared for it, but God prepared me for it. I've done that. I started working on this before, 3 or 4 days before. It's been going through my head of how I was going to impact and make a difference in someone's mind and heart today. Because if you don't understand this timing, you're missing it. I don't want you to miss it. So take advantage of what you have in place with ACN and what you have in place, because they continue to keep giving. They keep blessing. They keep blessing. When are you going to give more than they give? Because they're always giving. Mr. Thomas is always giving, always filling your cup so it's overflowing. Guys, got to overflow on other people. Don't keep it for yourself. And the moment you step into this action, I wrote a few things down. What would your life be like if you decided today to take the right steps, to be coachable, to follow this perfect system and use it to your advantage from the greatest leverage you could possibly ever have in this timing? There's no coincidences. We have Zoom in a pandemic. There is no coincidences. God placed this for us perfectly to have Zoom technology, to build this business that would already flourish in network marketing, but to flourish in this time, because there's so many people going to be waiting for you. They're still waiting for you because you haven't talked to them yet. But the ones you've talked to, Their timing is coming. All right, so I'm going to go back to my screen share here. What do you need to do right now? Run. Run. Run for your life and your family's life. Stop walking. Stop toe dipping, because the speed of the leader is 100% the speed of the team. And what you do, they do. You must be the example that people want to follow. That leader needs to be you, and it can be you. I believe in you. It's time to run. I hope you hear me. Are you ready to run your race? Because it's your race. You're not competing against anybody but yourself. So take the limitations off. When you run with limitations, you run behind because you are in fear and not faith. Stop being committed in a crisis and be committed for your life, for the people's lives that are waiting for you to impact them. It's time to run your race. You deserve to be a regional director. You deserve to be a regional vice president and be promoted and carried up and celebrated. You deserve that. That is who you are. That's who you can be. That's not it's a title, but I'm talking about that's living your greatness. It's not about the title. It's about knowing that you deserve to be celebrated. Why does everybody else get to be celebrated? Because they made the decision to run. We've promoted regional directors, regional vice presidents, and senior vice presidents in this pandemic. Why? Because they decided to run. And they know that their greatest life and their greatest days are ahead of them in 2021 and beyond. And some people, many people, 30 million people, 300 million people, I don't know what it is out there, that are waiting for your voice. And they're waiting for you to decide to run. Because if you look at this race right here, think of it as a baton race. We're a team. We're a team. And you're passing the baton, developing the next leader. If you don't run the race out front, your team is behind. You are a part of a team that is running a race. Mr. Thomas is on a run. He's sitting in his chair, but he's intentional every day to continue to run. You need to be that person because he's passing the baton to you, and you need to take off, and you need to hit that finish line and help your team get there. You're competing with yourself, but with a team in mind and developing and showing the next leaders. So this is what I'm going to set for you. I'm going to put this out here, and I hope that some of you take this to heart and you do this week and make this a natural thing you do every single week on your calendar starting Sunday. Today is Monday, so we're one day behind, but it should be on your whiteboard. So set your goals for the week, and let's ready, set, go. The baton is in my hand. I'm going to pass it to you, but I'm going to do all these things that I'm setting here. Set your own personal PBZ right now. Put it in your head. When is it? Right now. And get it to your leader. If you are working with someone, you can do them on your own. You can do them on your own. Read the slides, play the video. Mr. Thomas teaches this over and over and over. You have to step up. Stop depending. We are independent business owners. Stop being dependent. Set your own personal PBZ and don't tell other people to do it if you're not willing to do it. Don't be a manager, be a team player. Set your own personal PBZ this week. Pick the day right now. Don't ask anybody if they have time to do it. Just set it right now. What is it? And if you can do 2 this week, especially if you're new, if you're brand new and listening to this leadership call, 2 PBZs this week at least, personally. We're gonna get through the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Numbers will lay out for you. okay? Expose at least 10 people to the business. I say 20, but expose at least 10 people to the business this week. Personally, don't count your team, you. I know Natasha is amazing at this. She is a person, a leader that people want to follow. I would follow her any day. So I hope if you work with Natasha and Hussein alongside Mr. Thomas and the Kings, you're blessed. Now just start doing the work that they already do. They've been doing. That's why they're regional directors onto RVP. Put at least one personal guest on a Zoom webinar each day. So besides your own personal PBZ and exposing 10 people to the business. Now, one of those, these people can be one of the 10 if you want, but I'm trying to push your limits. Don't put limits on you. Remember, the limits you put on you are fear-based. We need to go faith-based. So put one personal guest on a Zoom webinar each day. You have one every night of the week. Every day of the week. The company does a 10 a.m. Zoom Eastern time every day. They do a quick start as well in the afternoon. So you guys, it's laid out for you, but Mr. Thomas has a schedule. Natasha's on Wednesday nights. We have everybody has something, and there's one every day of the week. Get 5 personal customers in the system this week. I recommend you go 5 annual IDCO plans. 5 times 8 is 40 points that you can have in this week. And then you copy and duplicate it, you pass the baton, and you teach your team, and you show them how to do it because you've inspired them. Be again the people you want to follow. If you do this over and over and over again, and you help people get success right out of the gate, launching them with CQ. We had a new business partner come in. This is what I was showing Heather. She did it. I watched her do it yesterday with her new independent business owner. Amazing. Getting her into action, getting those services in, walking them through the steps so that they get that CQ done. You continue to promote CQs in 24 hours, and you do this in their 24 hours, and you do this, this is your result. Momentum will be yours. It will be yours. And the big mo is everything. You want that big mo, you guys. So, you know, I will hope that this made a difference for anybody that watched this, that took notes, that heard my heart, because truly, this is a heart business. There's no emotion in business, but you got to lead with your heart. Your head has to get out of the way, and you just need to do it. So my prayer for you is that the prayer I send out to all of you is that there's more power moves made, more power couples developed, more, I wrote some down, more power dreams realized, more power teams built from this moment on, and more power ideas, and that you leap into your destiny. It's time. So with that being said, Mr. Thomas, I pass it to you.
Wow. Woohoo. My God, see what happened when you get a month off from the calls? You just come back with all kind of stuff. I got page after page of notes out here. Hey, can we give Miss Jocelyn Driskill show her some love? Because I tell you what, God has blessed her with some knowledge to come back. I love what she said. Notice this, leaders, all the speakers, she said she takes time, 2 or 3 days to prepare a message, not flying off the seat of your pants. Prepare. And over again, she went through it. I love that. You know, this is the business where we could generate.
Uh-oh, where'd Mr. Thomas go?
Give him a second, he'll be right back.
Okay.
It happens when he gets really excited.
I like it. I love the excitement. You guys, what an amazing opportunity for me to be here.
Thank you. Look, it's time for you to run the race. Curtis Evans, it's time. Bill Bailey, it's time. Bill Howard, it's time. Miss Darlene Evans, it's time. Caroline Johnson, it's time. Daryl Ranson, it's time for you to run your race. Miss Caroline Baker, come on, run that race. Come on, David Culver. Man, the professor, it's time to run. Tim, it's time to run up in Minnesota. Miss Ed Navarro, come on. You could be RD. Close it out, buddy. It's time to run. Miss Evelyn Phibbs, run the RVP. It's your time. Frank Bowman and Miss Patricia up there in Elk Grove, it's time to run the race. Mr. Chris King and Rose King, a handful of customers from RD. Run that race. Let's close it out. Mr. Brian Baker, it's time to run that race. Mr. Harris Mills, it's time to run. Julian Lewis, come on, my friend. You can run it. You run it, and a great leader. Come on, Miss Jones, it's time to run. Miss Marcia Carter, you have it and always had it. I need you to get going, girl, because you got it in you. Quit lagging. Let's get after it in a big way like your life depended upon you. Miss Castro, what a superstar lead in Phoenix, Arizona. Keep running, keep running, keep running. Natalie in Vegas, run. Come on, girl, run. Mr. Sam Foster down in Houston, Dallas, Texas. My friend, you've been with me forever. Run, man, run harder. Mr. Willie Cribbs, it's time for you to show them what you're made of out there in South Carolina. You are an amazing young man. Don't let that wheelchair handicap you, because I know you don't. That's what I love about you, Willie Cribbs. Run that race. Mr. Julian Lewis, sir. Man, I have so much respect. Folks, like she said, run the race. She also said, be the leader people want to follow. Miss Ismail, people love to follow you. Folks, we had a great call today. She has came out slugging today. Lord, can you understand what the next 4, this is 5 Mondays back to back. Woo! If I were you, I'd get everybody on this call, because this woman is, oh my Lord, knocking the ball out the park, out the park, out the park. Oh, I also see who snuck on here from the doctor's office in surgery. I see Miss Perla Bernal. Run, run, run. Yeah, she's on here. She's in the operating office. Hey, listen, folks, I want to thank Miss Driskill for another amazing, amazing, amazing Monday. Every Monday. Tomorrow, I got a treat. I'm not going to tell you. Wednesday, we have the mob back in from Chicago. On Wednesday, the mob will be with us. On Thursday, we have Throwback Thursday, Mr. Dean Torelli. On Friday, Mr. Brian Nelson will be with us on Friday. Run, run, run. And with that, it's Monday. How many people you getting in front of, like she said? And with that, I want to say thank you all for being on the call today. By God. Whoo, run. God bless everybody. Be safe. And remember, we'll see everybody tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. God bless. Wow.